How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? This is SCB American here, and today we're going to go over how to fly the Mi-8. I've noticed a lot of people try to fly this like a Huey, and you just really can't. Let's go ahead and hop in real fast. Now, before we even take off, go over real quick. I don't know if anybody else has noticed this or not, but the rockets tend to have a glitch when you first spawn in, and they'll just dump one pod. What I like to do is, as soon as I go ahead and start it up, I cycle through, and what I like to do is use the inner two pods. You have 6 on this thing, and by using the inner 2, you can kind of keep them more streamlined. I generally go after air targets, so having them be nice and centered up along the fuselage, along my sight line, helps out a lot. So like I said, people try to fly this like a Huey, and it takes about 3 seconds flying this to realize it doesn't handle anything like a Huey. So what we're going to go over is strengths and weaknesses real fast. One of your big strengths in this is going to be your speed. After you get up to speed, you go about 30 miles an hour faster than the Huey does. So what I like to do is kind of equate the Mi-8 to the Flying Tigers of World War II. And that may sound really nerdy. Bear with me and I'll tie it back in. So they used these things called P-40 Warhawks at the beginning of World War II. And the Japanese at the time had Zeros, which were fast, nimble, but they couldn't take much punishment, and they weren't very good in a dive. So what the Flying Tigers would do is they'd get below 40,000 feet, because that's where their engines started having aspiration issues, but they'd get decent altitude, and they'd do boom and zooms, where you dive in on a target, line up your shot real fast, say there's a heli up here or something, line up your shot, hit, brake, and run. Now by doing that, that Huey that you go to hit is going to probably do a little barrel roll or a flip to try and break speed to get on your tail. And with them breaking speed and you zooming out of there, you just made a whole bunch of room between you and them. Which brings us to another point. You can't turn like you do in a Huey. Best fast turn I found, angle your nose up. Right as you start to stall out, flutter your controls, hit down on your collective, and spin around with your tail. Also, while we're on that same subject, if you've done what I've said and you've ran and made distance between you and the Huey, get low. Because doing that turn, if they're close enough, gives them a really good target with your blades. So say I've got a Huey behind me right now, right? Just for pretend. If he's following me low, he can't see over this mountain right now. We go for the turn, bring us down low behind the horizon, keep us right above the treetops, circle around. Right about now, we'd probably come up over, and you're already turned around waiting for him. Now, all that being said, your Mi-8 obviously doesn't have the door gunners like a Huey does, right? It's got your rear and you got your nose. Having 2 gunners be with you is a huge, I can't stress that enough, huge advantage. This right side back gun here, you can get angles on that gun to almost directly behind the aircraft. So if somebody's chasing you, they can line them up with that. And if you're chasing somebody else, conversely, you can light them up with that door or the nose gun right there. I've had flights where I have 2 helicopter kills as the pilot, but my gunners have got 3. Like, I really can't stress enough how important having at least one gunner in your helicopter with to hop between the 2 guns, how important that can be. Now, just to touch base back on the rockets, the rockets in the Mi-8 aren't nearly as powerful as the ones on the Hueys. So if you're gonna be running into any armored vehicles or like BT or LAVs and stuff, you're gonna want to use the HEDPs. The Huey, you don't have to worry about it, just because the rockets are big enough, even with the HEs, to puncture the BTR's armor. But with this guy, I've hit multiple hits directly with the regular HE rounds and had LAVs just drive off. Now, also when you're going to use your rockets, this iron sight right here, the little aiming reticle in the Mi-8 isn't my favorite by any means. But the iron sight helps kind of dope it in there. If you get that onto the crosshair and you just kind of keep it there, it'll help your cause. I know that with the last update, they ruined the snapping back to forward with your free look. So now you can just kind of set it and forget it, which I liked for some things. But when you're trying to snap back to your sight and you can't, it creates an issue. So another thing real fast before we get back to the gunnery stuff. I've already said you got a whole bunch more speed in the Mi-8. The other thing is you have way better climb rates. And what I mean by that is if you and a Huey are at the same altitude and they're across the map from you moving toward you, if you start gaining altitude just immediately, shoot, you can even do the little turn tail and run and gain altitude, because they're going to try and chase you up. When they try to chase you up, they're going to stall and they're going to lose control of their tail and start swinging around randomly. That's your option and your opportunity to pull one of these moves and come right back around on top of them. So in conclusion, just to recap some of the big points here, don't try and fly this thing like a Huey. All you're ever going to do is end up handing free kills to the American team. And as someone that plays on the American team, I like to have fun dogfights, not the Marianas turkey shoot. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and it's been SCB American. I'll see y'all next time.